Have you ever wondered how big industrial machines can change their speed so smoothly, without any jerks or sudden movements? Or how an elevator gives you that comfortable, gentle ride up and down? What about conveyor belts in a factory that need to run at different speeds? Or even your home air conditioner that saves so much electricity? The answer to all these questions is a clever device called a VFD, which stands for Variable Frequency Drive. In this video, we're going to break down everything you need to know about VFDs, from the absolute basics to the more advanced stuff. We'll cover what a VFD is, why it's so essential, how it works inside, the different types available, its power and voltage ranges, and where you can find them in action with real-life examples that you probably see every single day. So, let's get started. First things first, what exactly is a VFD? In simple terms, a variable frequency drive is an electronic controller that adjusts the speed and torque of an AC motor. It does this by changing the frequency and voltage of the electricity that's supplied to the motor. Think of it like a dimmer switch for a light bulb, but instead of controlling brightness, it controls the motor's speed. It allows the motor to run as fast or as slow as needed. So, why do we even need a VFD? Well, most standard AC motors are designed to run at a fixed speed. This speed is determined by the electrical frequency from your wall outlet, which is usually 50 or 60 Hz, and the number of poles inside the motor. The problem with this is that when you start a motor directly, it draws a massive amount of current, which can stress both the electrical system and the motor itself. There's also a lot of mechanical wear and tear from the sudden jolt. Plus, you get zero speed control, and if the motor is always running at full blast, it wastes a ton of energy. A VFD solves all of these problems. It provides a smooth, gradual start for the motor, which we call a soft start. It gives you precise control over the motor's speed. It saves a significant amount of energy, especially in applications like pumps and fans. It reduces mechanical stress, which means less wear and tear, and it allows for much better control over industrial processes. To understand how a VFD works its magic, you need to grasp one very important concept: the relationship between motor speed and frequency. The speed of an AC motor is directly proportional to the frequency of the power supplied to it. The formula is speed in RPM equals 120 times the frequency, divided by the number of motor poles. For example, a standard 4-pole motor running on a 50 Hz supply will spin at 1,500 RPM. But if you use a VFD to lower the frequency to 25 Hz, the motor's speed will drop to 750 RPM. If you increase the frequency, the speed increases. This simple principle is the heart of every VFD's operation. So, how does a VFD actually change the frequency? It does it in 3 main stages. The first stage is the rectifier. It takes the incoming AC power from the wall, whether it's single-phase or 3-phase, and converts it into DC power. This is done using a bridge of diodes. The output here is a pulsating DC voltage. The second stage is the DC link, or DC bus. This stage acts like a reservoir. It uses large capacitors and sometimes reactors to smooth out the pulsating DC from the rectifier, creating a stable, clean DC voltage. This stored energy is then ready for the next stage. The third and final stage is the inverter. This is where the real magic happens. The inverter takes the smooth DC voltage and converts it back into AC power. But here's the key. It doesn't just create standard 50 or 60 Hz AC. It uses incredibly fast switching transistors, usually IGBTs, to chop up the DC voltage and create a brand new, variable AC output. By controlling how fast these transistors switch, the VFD can generate any frequency it wants. And by controlling the pulse width, it can adjust the voltage. This variable frequency, variable voltage AC power is then sent to the motor, giving us complete control. Now let's talk about controlling both speed and torque. As we said, changing the frequency controls the motor's speed. But what about the voltage? The VFD also adjusts the voltage in proportion to the frequency. This is called VF control, or volts per hertz control. Why is this important? It helps maintain the motor's magnetic flux at a constant level. This ensures the motor can produce consistent torque without overheating, especially at lower speeds. This brings us to the different types of VFDs, which are usually classified by their control method. The most common type is the VFD or scalar control. It's simple, reliable, and cost-effective, making it perfect for applications like pumps and fans where pinpoint accuracy isn't the top priority. Next up is vector control. This method is much more advanced. It uses complex algorithms to independently control the motor's speed and torque, providing high torque even at very low speeds and offering a much faster response. You'll find vector control VFDs in applications like conveyors and cranes. Finally, there's direct torque control, or DTC. This is the high-performance champion. It offers extremely fast and precise torque response, making it ideal for the most demanding applications like elevators, where a smooth ride is crucial, or in rolling mills where precision is everything. VFDs also come in different supply configurations. You can get single-phase input VFDs that can run either single-phase or three-phase motors, which are common for smaller applications. For industrial use, three-phase input VFDs that power three-phase motors are the standard. The power, voltage, and frequency ranges for VFDs are vast. You can find them for small to 130-volt single-phase systems or massive 690-volt industrial motors. Their power ratings can go from a fraction of a kilowatt to over 5,000 kilowatts for huge industrial machinery. And while the output frequency is typically adjustable from 0 to around 400 Hz, most standard motors operate between 0 and 60 Hz. Higher frequencies are used for special high-speed motors. Inside a VFD, you'll find several key components. There's the rectifier, the DC bus capacitors, the inverter module with its IGBTs, and a control board, which is the brain of the operation. To handle the heat generated, there's a cooling fan and a heat sink. You'll also see a display and keypad for programming, and communication ports for connecting to control systems. Safety is also a huge part of VFD design. They are packed with protection features, including overcurrent, overvoltage, undervoltage, and overtemperature protection. They also protect the motor from overload and can detect earth faults, shutting down safely to prevent damage. So, where are VFDs actually used? The answer is almost everywhere. In your home, they're in modern washing machines to control the spin speed, in energy-efficient air conditioners, and in some advanced water pumps. Commercially, they run with systems, elevators, escalators, and water chillers in large buildings. In industry, their applications are endless: conveyors, compressors, crushers, mixers, rolling mills, CNC machines, you name it. They are also critical in utilities and infrastructure, from water treatment plants and oil rigs to power plants. Let's look at a few real-time examples to make it even clearer. Take a water pump. Without a VFD, the pump runs at full speed all the time, and you use a valve to restrict the flow. This is like driving your car with the accelerator pressed all the way down, and using the brake to control your speed incredibly wasteful. With a VFD, you simply slow down the pump motor to match the demand. This can lead to massive energy savings, often between 30 to 50%. Or think about an elevator. The VFD allows for smooth acceleration and deceleration, giving you a comfortable ride without any jerks. It also enables precise stopping, aligning the elevator perfectly with the floor. Another great example is a conveyor belt in a factory. A VFD allows the speed of the belt to be adjusted based on the production rate. This prevents materials from piling up or spilling and reduces mechanical stress on the whole system. So the advantages of using a VFD are clear: significant energy savings, a soft start, and stop that protects the motor, improved motor life, reduced maintenance costs, better process control, and even an improved power factor for the electrical system. Of course, there are a few disadvantages. The initial cost of a VFD is higher than a simple starter. They can also introduce electrical noise or harmonics into the power system, though this is usually managed with filters and reactors, and they do require skilled technicians for proper setup and programming. If we quickly compare a VFD to a traditional DOL or direct online starter, the difference is night and day. A DOL starter offers no speed control, causes a high starting current, and provides no energy savings. A VFD gives you complete speed control, a low starting current, and huge energy saving potential. The trade-off is the initial cost. When setting up a VFD, there are a few key parameters you need to program. These include the base frequency of the motor, the maximum frequency you want it to run at, the acceleration and deceleration times for smooth starts and stops, the motor's rated current, and the control mode you want to use, like VF or Vector. There are many well-known brands that manufacture VFDs, including ABB, Siemens, Schneider Electric, Danfoss, and Mitsubishi, just to name a few. To sum it all up, a VFD is truly the brain of modern motor control. It saves energy, improves efficiency, extends the life of your equipment, and enables smart, automated processes. From the appliances in our homes to the largest machines in heavy industry, VFDs are quietly working behind the scenes, making our world more efficient and controlled. If this video helped you get a clear understanding of what a variable frequency drive is and how it works, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel, How to Do It. And find us at How to Do 5 for more detailed explanations on electrical and industrial topics. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.